Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Areli and this is Areli Budgets. Thank you so much for being here. Today I am going to be sharing a different type of video. Normally I come on here and do like a budget with me or cash stuffing or a savings challenge. But today, a while back, one of my subscribers asked that I share a bit of my background, I guess for just added context on to all the financial things that I was sharing. So that is the plan for today. Thank you, Elena, for that request. And let's get started, shall we? Okay, so the best way that I could think to do this was to kind of do like a little outline, like Q&A sort of thing. So that's the plan. So a little bit about me, just the basics. Like I said, my name is Areli. I'm 41 years young and I live in Chicago, a town close enough to Chicago to say that I'm Chicago. I do, my home is not exactly in Chicago, but I've lived in Chicago long enough. I can, born and raised, I consider myself a Chicagoan. I commute every day to work to the great city of Chicago, the best city in the world. You know how it goes. So let's just say I'm in Chicago and I live with my partner. And okay, so about my income, how much money do I make? Gross income versus net income. How much I make on paper versus how much I actually bring home. So on paper, I'm a salaried employee. I bring home a little bit over 80K. I think I'm at 81K, something like that. What I'm bringing home is actually 53K. When I saw this difference, I was like, wow. Yeah, it is a big difference, I know. And this is after taxes, after my 401k, which I guess is like a positive, right? After medical coverage, and unfortunately after parking through doing this like little worksheet, I realized that I'm paying $2,400 in parking. I guess I don't have to, but my alternative is public transportation, and that's just not gonna work out for me for safety reasons. I work until late at night, and just time-wise, it's just not gonna make any sense. So it is what it is. I mean, if you work in a big city, just the parking situation is hard. So I also make a tiny bit of income through rental. I don't usually like budget this in. I usually just put whatever I make directly into savings challenges, because for the most part, I'm breaking even. Through my rental income, I'm still paying a mortgage on that property, and I'm paying association fees. So what's left after I make those payments is $75. And then, not sure if I mentioned that, but my daughter, I'm actually renting it out to my daughter and her roommate. And my daughter throws in an extra $50 for me because she's kind and generous and loving. So basically, I'm generating $125 a month in additional income. So I have that going for me. And miscellaneous is just what it sounds, miscellaneous income. It's not much. $5 here, $10 there, $20. At one point I think I made $50, but most of it comes from credit card points. Interest earnings, I do have the big long-term sinking funds. I have them in a high yield savings account, and they make a nice bit of interest. And occasionally I get a few dollars from apps, like from money saving apps like Fetch or Ibotta. Not Fetch. Fetch will give you like a card, right? But like Ibotta, what's the other one? Upside is a nice one. And then rebates. So so that is that. So basically my W-2 paycheck pays for the bills, and I put money towards my sinking funds, and I save some of that for savings. And then these two go directly into savings. I'm not sure if anyone's really curious about it, but how I make my money, I work in the media sector. I won't get into the details, but basically just so you have a bit of context, I work for a large corporation. It's nationwide, and they have like tentacles in every major city. Obviously, I'm in Chicago, so that's where I make my living. And then, you know, my income takes into account my 20 years of experience in this industry. And just something I wanted to throw in there, one of the finance channels that I follow, not a channel, accounts on Instagram, Organized Finance, she talks about weighing the cost versus benefits, the cost versus rewards. And specifically when she talks about cost, it's like stress, right? Like, how much is your job stressing you out? And are you making enough money to compensate for that, right? So ideally you want to have like a low stress job, high paying job, or at least something that's like medium stress, medium pay, medium stress, high pay, whatever. I think I'm more like high stress, moderate pay. Hoping that will change soon. I don't know. But yeah, it can be a little bit overwhelming. So I hope you have like a low stress, high paying job. I really do. Page number 2. Okay. So do I have any debt? Short answer, no. Not consumer debt in the way most people think about it. Long answer, yes, I do. I have the two mortgages, the two mortgages I mentioned. The condo where my daughter and her roommate live, and the home that I share with my boyfriend. And the condo, I'm at $47,000. My plan at the onset of the year was to hopefully pay it off in 2 years. Like, that's my one big ambitious goal. I'm not sure if that's gonna happen. It's a complicated situation. I'm not gonna get into it. That could be like a whole other video, and we just don't have that kind of time. But basically right now what I'm doing is throwing as much money as I can at it, so that, you know, one, I either won't have to deal with that payment anymore because I would have paid it off, or two, basically if I should sell it, I would get all that money back. So that's that. And we are nowhere close to finish paying off our home. That's a ways to go. What else? Do me and my boyfriend have shared finances? No, we do not. Obviously we split the cost on a number of things, like mortgage and bills, and, you know, some household expenses, but that's about it. I like to budget my money. He likes to budget his money. So, I mean, I guess it is what it is. We don't share much beyond that. I have my goals. He has his goals that are independent of our lives together. So that's the answer to that. And then just a little bit of logistics. I'm not sure anyone's interested, not sure anyone's cares, but just gonna put it out there just so you have, like, I guess, the complete picture. I do get paid bi-weekly, and I do budget by paycheck. The monthly budget, I should say, confused me for the longest time, and I think that's why I wasn't more aware of my finances earlier, because I just felt like that monthly was just like too overwhelming, didn't make much sense, yada yada yada. Yeah, I found like an old notebook where I came across like an old budget, and it was funny because it was a budget by paycheck. And I guess back then I was doing it, but because there wasn't like, I guess, a name for it, I didn't think much of it. But now it makes sense. Like, I feel validated, like, oh, I was doing it because it works. And now like everyone's doing it. So yeah. And obviously I do use the cash envelopes with the credit card. So basically I take out the money that I plan to spend during the week, or that I budget for during the 2 weeks. I use my credit card for most things. I would say probably 90%. I get the points from it, and then at the end of the month I take my cash and use it to pay down my credit card, so that at the end of the month I have a zero balance on my credit card. So it might seem a little weird or silly for some, like to take it out and only to put it back in. But if I had left it in my bank account, I would just get like very confused, and I would think that I had more money than I actually did. And yeah, it would not work out for my budget. So I like to do it this way. It makes it more tangible. It makes it like I'm able to see how much money I have and like track it down better. So that's why I like doing it this way. And of course, I use savings challenges. And back in the day, I had that question too, like, why are you spending money on savings challenges when you could just save it? Well, since I saw so many people having fun with these savings challenges, I decided to try them myself. And guess what? I enjoyed them. So basically, savings challenges just make saving fun. And that's why they're there. How I got started. 2022 was a year of overwhelm because that's when we had just bought our home, my boyfriend and I, and that depleted my savings account. That depleted all my savings. It went to the what do you call it, like the down payment that you put on the house, and closing costs and all that. And so I had $0 to my name. And then on top of that, we needed to make like home upgrades, not like, you know, like vanity home upgrades that you want, but like actually upgrades that were required by the town that we moved into. And so we needed to do that. And then I had some unexpected medical bills because for the longest time, my doctors could not figure out what was wrong with me. So I had to visit a specialist, and you guys know specialists are expensive. And then my dog had an incident. You know, he's in heaven now, but he had an incident back then. Yeah, it was all very costly. And I was like, I need to put my finances in order. I need to start budgeting for these unexpected life things that, you know, might come up. So that's when I kind of like started my journey. And so that was probably 2022 when I started like my cash envelope method. I started with just envelopes that you get from the bank. You know, I would write groceries on them, gas, you know, that sort of thing. You don't need any of these binders to get started. It's nice to have them, but you don't need them. I think one of my favorite budgeters, she disappeared. I don't know what happened to her. I hope she's doing okay. Gonna be debt free was her YouTube, or is her YouTube handle. I don't know. I hope she comes back. But yeah, she just used a notebook and envelopes. And her content, I loved it. Where was I going with that? So yeah, you don't need nothing fancy. I started that way, and then I just wanted some new binders and stuff. In March 2023, I started recording because I figured it should be fun and I don't have to show my face. So it should be it should be fun, it should be a piece of cake. Well, no, it was not a piece of cake. It was still very much a bit of a stress on me, and I wasn't editing the videos because I did not want to look at them. And of course I wasn't uploading them. There came a point where I was like, why are you recording these videos if you're not going to upload? Like, you either gotta stop or you gotta start uploading, because otherwise what's the point? So yeah, I made it official in October of 2023, and I've been here ever since, and I'm loving it. I really enjoy like the interactions with all the other budgeters and how we cheer each other on and how we learn from each other and all that good stuff. What else? Oh, good, we reached the end. Final thoughts. Everyone's journey is different, and I think that is beautiful. I think sometimes we fall into the comparison trap, like, I can't do that because I don't make that kind of money, or poor her, she's now making a whole lot of money because look at her empty sinking funds or whatever. We fall into the comparison trap, and I just want to say that everyone has like their own story, right? Their own priorities, their own income, their own circumstances, their own like life skills, and you do with it what you can, and that is okay. Like, it's okay to be where you're at. Like, you don't have to be where, like, just everyone's background is different, so don't even try comparing it. Like, don't like, I wish I was making 100K in tech, but I don't have a tech bone in my body, so like, how is that even gonna happen? Like, just you do you, and that's all you can do, and I think that's beautiful. So I just wanted to leave you off on that note. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope I get more than one view. I'm not sure who's gonna be interested in this, but yeah, I hope you learned a little bit about me. I hope you leave, tell me a little bit about yourself in the comments, or point me to your own video so that I can learn a little bit about you guys as well. My Gmail is always open. It's listed in my bio. You can always reach out to me that way as well. I think that's it. I hope you have a great weekend or a great week whenever you're watching. Thank you so much for being here. And until next time, take care. Bye.